Alright, let's jump just right into it. I am the Code Mage, and I'm building a fantasy console with C Sharp, with Python for scripting, and we'll see where the rest of the world takes us here. So, as of yesterday, I think I got it working. The kind of file operations working. I got, well, some of them anyways. I've got some basic scripting going. Here's a working version of it. So this is really going to be the prototype, I think. I'm going to probably go through a second round after this is all done, and because the code is really messy because I'm kind of exploring the domain and what I actually want this to be. But anyways, you can go ahead and when you do that, what happens is it actually picks up the browser, which I'm going to probably have it be like an optional tool launch at some point in time. And I want to provide like a baseline set of tools that are web accessible. Although I really feel like for Fantasy Console that maybe they should be embedded. I don't know. I'll got to think that through as time progresses. But I've got this menu. When I hit run here, right now it's just running this Python code you see in the back. I just was testing out the integrations between those two things, so that's kind of where I'm at. As far as what I'm going to do today, I'm not entirely sure yet. I think I need to just keep expanding on this. Maybe a good goal will be to get it so that I can write a Python script outside of hard coding it here, get it loaded up, and then get it working. So I guess I'm going to work towards that end. If you have questions or comments, or if you have some ideas for me, let me know as I go. But might as well just get going here. So, all right. So where I left off, how this works is when you click run. Let's see here. It executes the game runtime, which then goes to the game driver and executes. This kind of comes in with the idea that it has the game's probably already loaded in memory. There's something loaded in memory to grab onto. Execute then calls this, creates an engine, creates scope. Right now I just have a couple things that get dropped in there and then go. So the code is stored in memory. I really want to probably eventually create a code buffer, but for right now I figured, you know what, let's just keep it simple. I'll just have a string there that gets the code. So I think what I'll do is start expanding on this editor API, which is actually an ASP.NET web project that starts up a controller. So I think what I want to do here is start thinking about how the API is going to interact with a game. Let's just go with that. Call this the game controller. Yeah, it doesn't need to be plural. You know, the way I think about API design, let me bring up the notepad here, something like you have games, which is a set of resources, and you do this, get on games, you get a set of games, get on, you get a particular game, and then you post to games to create something like that. But in this case, we're not creating those resources. There's a fixed resource that is the game that we're going to be getting. So there's no such thing as post to game. What we could have is game like this. We get a game, which gives us just the baseline information about it. And then we have a specific one for the game sub pieces that we want. So we have game code maybe, and there's where we could put would be the proper verb like that. and then this would take in, you know, the contents of the Python code as a string. I don't think we would need a delete because you could just put an empty string. You're never really going to delete the resource. The resource is always there whether you do anything with it or not. So I think those are the only verbs we need for that. So this would be like gets code metadata, or gets game metadata. I do want to include basic HADOS in this, which is hypertext or hypermedia as the engine of application state or something like that. Can't remember the exact term or how the acronym goes, but the idea is that when you're doing a real RESTful API, the contents of the response should actually allow you to drive your application state. So the easiest way or the simplest way is to provide links to what's capable, so it's discoverable. You could say, well, if you know, from the root menu of this, if I just do /API, I should know from there what all options are available to me. I could click into one of them, the game option, it tells me all the options that are available for game based on the current state. So you should be able to navigate JSON like an application, really. But there's no real, I mean, there's some standards like I think Siren and HAL, HAL is one, but there isn't really like a standard, so I'll just make one up probably. A simple one. So that would be code. Eventually we'll have something like get API game sprites, and then this one you would probably have a specific index for it. You couldn't really post because it's fixed memory, but you could do a put. And what that would be is the binary data then for the sprite, or maybe you could pass in a PNG. I'm not sure exactly how that will work. There'll be APIs for eventually for other things like music and stuff too, but for now I think these are the two that I need. Yep, so the main one I want to get here is kind of these ones going. Now the home controller, which is just right now is handling the root case, which gives you that, like I said, it just spits out the active game name. I'm not certain. Yeah, I don't think this will end up being it. I think what this will do is it'll return a JSON with the link of, or a list of available links, basically, is all that will be in it. So I'm going to just wipe that out now. And I'm going to make this an API controller. I don't know that that's really applicable right now anyways. Okay. And I'm going to keep this kind of old school. Just add a models folder here. And here we'll add a transfer object, which I'm going to play around with, seeing how this works with records instead of doing standard classes here. I don't know how it interacts with MVC, so we'll find out if I have to undo this. We'll find out. Now, there could also be no fantasy console currently loaded, or not fantasy console, no current active game as well. So I have to handle that case. Let's shake off the morning slowness. Let's see, mem active game, and that's really the active game name. There's a better way to do this now, isn't there? Is it like if game name is null or no? I don't know. I think there is a way. Surprise string.empty doesn't work there. I'm not sure that that's getting cleared out properly when you exit the game. So think about that. And we'll say that returns a 404. And where else would do that? So the other thing, like I said, I want to have is the concept of links. No, just go with that. And this will just be a list of. So it doesn't need to be a list. It's just be a really want these to be relative URLs, like paths. I think you can do that within here. We'll just do that for now. And they have to be named. It's the other thing. So this isn't really an enumerable. It's more like a dictionary. Oh, how that gets serialized out. Dictionary. Or actually, this is what this is. I don't need a subtype for that. So a whole new set of standards to think about with this too. stuff in there. And I believe there's a way to actually get the URL from a specific named it's a path to an action method which contains a specific action name. The other thing that this has to contain is not just the not just contain the URL, but also has to contain the method that, or the the HTTP method with which to access it, I believe. Look at Hail. A very simple one is something like this. Yeah, the link collection, which is basically a, for the lack of better terms, just like a dictionary of different things that contains not just, it's got to contain more than just the thing. So this shouldn't be a URI. This should be like an actual link object. Just to keep this stuff similar here. And this will be a I wonder if that'll serialize in and out or not. No, just try it. So this should model, for the most part, like an anchor tag or like a forum post or whatnot. Okay, so this contains actually a dictionary of string to UTO, and we go back to our game controller. And we say something like, I don't remember what the content would be. Is it like this for a dictionary? This gets a string. Not by URI. That's interesting. Right, like that for now, just to get this working. Right now, this is all that that has to offer. Should be a Nope, records work this way. I don't even have to go back and make these all classes. I mean, and maybe they don't actually... Maybe it's not actually worthwhile to use them like this here. But I just love that the syntax is so much simpler, smaller. I mean, it's just... You can just define the constructor like this. Everything else just gets done for you. I don't know why they wouldn't have extended this same thing to classes. So, interestingly enough, what you can do here, show you what the value of doing this is in a second. Well, maybe. We'll see if it becomes valuable or not. What you do is you can decide here then whether you get that top level get to the game class. So this isn't get game, we'll call it get app. I don't know. I've got to... What I should do is do this. Get app and then do get app. Do the same thing down here. That way I'm not gonna, if I rename it, it just kind of goes with it. Oops. As I'm going to do here. So now you want the API to tell you something about this. So instead of doing it like this, I want to be able to be right, and then I'll say something like if controller dot there's probably a cleaner way to do this than, hey Scott, how's it going? Than referencing it specifically. Said I think there's probably a better way to do this, but we're just going to follow this for now. So then what you would do is I should probably find a good way to decouple these from each other, but I just want to prove the point here. This stuff gets messy, doesn't it? Alright. Alright, let's see if this works the way I expected to. So I got rid of that base one. So what you get here is, and that's a blank one. Why did that not like that? Well, I'll figure that out later. So, even though the URL isn't popping, but you can see that the actual, we're going to look at it like this. You can see it gave two links for me. One to the API itself, and one to, wow, that's kind of weird, method. I've got to fix that as well. And it would give one to the game here, if it was available. Now, if I exit this, and I'm going to just restart this, because I don't think I'm clearing it out when I run it, but... So at this point in the execution, the app doesn't actually have an active game. And so if I refresh here and grab the API, you see that the game link doesn't appear. And that's the HATOS or whatever the actual that is supposed to be part of. This is a mechanism that implements this kind of thing, but the hypermedia is the engine of application state. It basically the APIs, RESTful APIs, in order to truly be RESTful, have to be kind of discoverable upon executing them like this. So now if I go ahead and launch a game, and rerun this, you can see that now the game is available, which is what it should be. So, but there's obviously something wrong with this here. I wonder if the name comes out as something different. Oh, I might have to give the controller, because it's on a different controller. Just gonna... Let's try it again. You ever do, I don't know if that's still you there, Scott, or not, but do you ever do ADOS as part of your RESTful APIs? Still nothing, really. Come on. Come on. And I think I need to switch this over to be string as well, as much as I hate it. That'll probably fix the type I'm not looking for. Use HADOS, like, you know, when we say that we're using RESTful APIs, 99% of the time we're not, according to what is it, basically the RESTful spec. There's like a maturity model with RESTful APIs. It's not really maturity, but basically in order to have real REST, you need to get up to this hypermedia control level, and once you implement that, then you're doing real RESTful real RESTful APIs. But it's all a, you know, kind of it's kind of like a almost not, it's not worth arguing about ever. So, oh, I see, that's why. Okay. Yeah, it's one of those finer points of RESTful design. If you want to get real snobby about it, you can be like, yeah, I do HADOS. But man alive, this should not be this hard. What I want to do is get the URL or the path, the action path from this controller action right here. So I've given it a name. I thought that was enough. I thought that was enough to for this to work right here, but it's not. because obviously I'm passing. I'll just try hard coding them, see how that works. Maybe there's something with the name of that's not working correctly. Yeah, it's still returning null, which is really ticking me off. I don't think I have Postman installed on this machine, but I probably should. You ever use Postman? Probably. I want to download. Try for free. Isn't it just free? Struggled with it. I mean, it's a decent enough tool. I've never used it enough where I've been like, I mean, I use it just sparingly, but I don't use it enough for to become like a power user. I know people that are really good with it. Can I just, yeah, there we go. So what's cool about including links inside your stuff is you should be able to like click it within Postman and bring you to there in another call. So just for the sake of making this actually work, point you to what I'm trying to get at here, which is API game, like that, I believe. I guess it would help if I did that. So you get something like this, and then you can click through in Postman, and then just pop like right like that. Yeah, it's bothering me because this works just fine here, but it doesn't work. From, yeah, I don't know. But yeah, having the links section or whatever allows you to kind of discover APIs. So if I wanted to, you know, have some like system settings versus just games in here for links, that things I could link off to, you can click through like you were clicking through a HTML web page, and that's kind of what HADOS is. You should be able to drive your application through the API itself. Might stop launching that. I think for now, I'm gonna have to figure out how to make this more dynamic later. I'm just gonna hard code these. Actually, you know what I'll do? Let's do this. It's gonna get really ugly really fast, but I'm not using that already. I should really have this called not the app controller and not have it at root. Let's see, 60. I never really liked using these two because it's like if you want to rename stuff but not affect your API, like there's a sense of dynamicness there that I just have never really liked. And this is why I wanted to make that dynamic, so I don't have to go around and update paths when I do something like that. Nope, that was not what I wanted to do. Or if that'll bring me off the page. Just added my sync engine to a customer's repo. They're going to go into labor. They're having a child. Oh, yeah. Made the string too big. I gotta solve that problem. Which I'm going to take a sidetrack to that. So, when writing to the text buffer, which is where it's kind of like the console buffer. Oh, it's F#. You mean they're going to have a cow? Gotcha. Well, who cares? No risk, no reward? Well, you should care. But hopefully you can make a case for it. Scott. Alright, so off the edge of the screen, it hits the end. Now, I could have it either just say if it's outside the bounds, it just doesn't do anything, or I could have it wrap, which then eventually it would get outside the bounds and not do anything. I think the easiest for right now would be to just say, hey, if this is outside the bounds, just don't set it. And I think right now, be like this. if x is less than 0 or x is greater than oh sorry, or y is less than 0 or y is greater than or equal to height, and guess what? Nothing happens. And that should solve my problem. Yeah, I watched you guys live stream that. I think I was commenting on your sync engine stuff. Yep, so now this will just go off the edge of the page. But obviously this isn't what I want to actually see. But this is what I was hoping for here. So then you go to the game. You can retrieve it here. And now the code will be on its own, because I don't want to pull down the code every time you're just trying to explore. You know, there might be other features of the game that you're interested in, so I could put all of this stuff in the same controller actually, but you know, since I don't need these right now and they might just confusing, I'm gonna rip them off quick. And technically I should have a treat this like a file. Let's see, 360 controller. Yeah, this is super ugly, but it's getting the job done without being too crazy. But let's do this too, instead of using that self term. Yeah, maybe this would be good. Okay, so the game controller then needs the ability to do shoot. What am I doing? That was dumb of me. Scheduled my technical interview for that I'm having next week for the morning. Now I'm starting to think that maybe I shouldn't. I feel like way more on in the afternoon. And this is going to be straight up. I don't think there's going to be anything to it other than just straight up string value. I'm not going to have links on this one because it's kind of an end in its own. I could have an object that's just like value and then links or something like that. or data and links. I don't know. I'll come back to that, I suppose. Yeah, you probably want to have some sort of structure around this too, because in terms of what the execution environment is, although I could put that at the root level. And I don't know. We'll just do it like this. Turn. Maybe this is something where it shouldn't actually be returning JSON anyways. How do you return... If I wanted to return this as a file that isn't JSON. Probably some evil nice no warranty. Yeah, we'll leave it like that. But I am going to make a... New game code. TO. This goes here. Self is this is gonna get annoying really fast. Clean these up. I don't know what this stuff should be called. Like self.code or This will be where I'll see how useful these records are going to be. Actually, put should probably be followed up with like a redirect to the get. I'm thinking put game code. It's not the cleanest way to do it, but whatever. Let's give this a go. Actually, you know what I need to do is change the game runtime, no, the game driver, to not do this. Here's where things can get tricky. So, ooh, why is there no data from back from that? So we get that. We go here, but we're getting nothing back. And why is that? I don't think that swallows errors. Oh, yeah, it should have blown up there because I have two dictionary values with the same thing in it. I'll just leave it off for now. But it's interesting, like I said, that that just got swallowed. Assuming that's the error. But I don't know why. API FC360 game cat. Oh, you know what I bet I did? Being dumb. For one, that dictionary thing should have broke, but this needs to be code, and so does the put. That would be it. If you just take a break for a second, things come through real quick. So the thing then is that these collections shouldn't probably be dictionaries, because they should have duplicate keys. In case you have, you want to document all of the possible verbs that work with them, maybe. I'm not sure. I think in other situations I've done it where I just put all the available methods for that particular endpoint here. The other option is I could just get rid of this, and instead you could have an option endpoint that's kind of implied. So there is an HTTP verb called options, I believe, which should tell you what is available to you for that particular thing. And I'm not sure how that really works with ASP.NET Core, ASP.NET, whatever. I haven't done that in a while. Looked at that kind of setup in a while, so. But anyways, this is doing what I want it to do now. So in theory, this should be like that, and there's currently no code. So if I switch this to a put to the same location, and I send in raw JSON with data, is that what I did? Data containing the, and this is where it gets a little tricky, because there's the, this is, I actually need to enter the Python program here. But I have to like JSONify that data, which isn't super easy, I believe. Well, anyways, I think I should be able to just do a single line here just to get it going. So I know there was on the draw, I had an output. Let me get the music going again here. So I had a define draw, then I had a output clear, and then an output, something like that. There will be no update or init if I don't put those in as well. So the question is, should I allow them to have no update and init? So I think it would have been something like this: def init line tab pass new line def update delta colon new line tab pass new line def draw colon new line tab clear new line tab output 1 0 0 hello world new line. Let's see if this works. So that got in there. You can see the redirect happened. Now if I exit and run, do I get the same thing? Nope. Draw takes 4. Oh, so I forgot. So I have to allow for the fact that the code might be wrong. But in order to do this, you actually have to pass in whether you want it inverted. Oh, man, it broke. And this should return a 404 now when this launches. If it finishes. Actually, as soon as that game mode runs, as soon as the game's loaded, it's technically editable. So you actually don't need to go to this edit screen. I could make it enforce it so you have to be on the edit screen in order for the game thing to be available. And to do that, I just have to make sure that the current program is the edit game program and no other program. So anyways, so I posted that in. Now if I come back here and run it, boom. Obviously this is ugly, but that's the idea here, is that you would use your own tools to you'd build your own tools to write the Python code, convert that to JSON, post it up. Perfect though. So now what happens though is that when I do post this data, I've got no way to escape out of that, first of all. Second of all, it doesn't get saved. So really what should happen is that whenever I do a mutation here on the game controller, right here for instance, I should call the sys API to like something like or this might just be like a save, I don't know, save game. So I've got the system. I want to, I think I did game load. So I'd want like a save. Maybe. Now the thing about load is that the data is coming in. It doesn't actually know anything about the file driver. The program's actually doing the saving. Maybe that's a design flaw. Of course, it's got access to the other drivers, so I can do this. We're just going to save code for now. Get bytes from mem. I didn't say mem, did I? It should be mem. Yeah, let's go to mem. Code buffer. Then I'd want to do something like got to figure out the structure for this data here, but for now I'm just going to pretend like this is all just code. I'm going to eventually have to have text coming in and out of that. Thing is, the load here, maybe the application really shouldn't be responsible for this stuff, or like this data should come in here. Like I should try to read. Yeah, there's definitely some room for improvement here. Sorry. Yeah, strip data. Okay. So this means when I put it, it will save it. So like I said, the feature here is once this is in there, this is running, I don't really need to click edit. As you can see here. And currently there's no code in there. But as soon as I put this in there, now there's code in there. And theoretically, that should be what's saved to that FC file. So if I restart this and do a get, the code should still be there. Yep, there it is. Cool. And so then if I restart this and just run it, that's perfect. All right, it's 11:20. So like I said here, so like when I create a game, right now this is writing the file, and then it loads into the menu, which then comes into here, and it says, okay, I got to read that file, then load the game. Maybe I should put all that file IO stuff into that game driver and just get rid of the FS module from. I mean, although the FS thing should be useful for, like I need a file system module for when the person's actually wanting to save game data. Like they might want to save. Of course, I could provide a specific API just for that. Like, why do they need to access? Like, there should be an abstraction around file systems, so I should have like the concept of like a this program specifically has got the capability to save. So that is some thoughts there. Some other stuff I need to do is get this cleaner. And expose this API here instead of doing this. Let's just do some more research on IronPython here. And it would be also fun to start building a tool that will interface with this to post that code, so I don't have to do that, you know, /new line /tab stuff. And I remembered the editor I was thinking of yesterday is Ace Editor. So I think I could take this and embed it into a page fairly easy to provide a Python editor pretty much right out of the box without much work. In fact, I should see if I can get it compressed into a single small HTML file, a very basic tool set, so that when you launch localhost 8080, it uses the API as a SPA. And obviously you don't need to go and to use Postman to do all this work. That makes a lot of sense, to be honest. Oh, big plans. So I do need to figure out how to get this embedded better. This is not what I'm looking for. And this documentation is sure terrible. But, I mean, it's not terrible, it's just loading .NET assemblies. Like, it's from Python side of thing. I want the hosting guide. This, of course, is broken. In this instance, we don't want the scriptwriter to have to do this every time. I don't want the whole thing. I just want a particular. Maybe I have to make a specific assembly that's just the API for this. I don't know. What if we already have an instance of an object in our hosting application we want to make available, which is basically what I have. I could make a single class that wraps all of this stuff. So then they could go like FC dot whatever. I don't it'd be better if they were just simple functions so they don't have to do the dot syntax. What does this do? Finally, let's say we have everything set up and we have a text editor embedded in the hosting application to run with a button. When run is pressed, we want the code to return to the text editor. Thus, yeah, code takes blah blah blah. I think that's essentially what I'm doing here. Although I'm executing on the engine in the scope, but this says I should create a script source from string. Oh, whatever. Register. I mean, I could just go through and set all of these functions. Like I am doing. I also wonder what happens if I don't define one of these. Just return null. I guess I could try that quick. See it break. Run Scott. So let's say we only define update. And now we come back here, try to run. Yeah, so it has no attribute. Why doesn't it give me the option for like a safe one of that? Where I can get variable or default or something like that. Is there the option for that? Scope.get variable. Oh, try get variable. So it'd be something like action that does nothing. Is there like an action.empty? So it's providing a default value. So now if I run this, it should work. Yeah, because it just bypasses it. So that's how we can run those. I wonder how expensive it is to create this engine every time. I wonder if I should create that once. I think I still need to create a scope every time. Returns a script object. What is the difference between doing that and just executing the code? Yeah, I'll just keep with this for now. So let's see if I can. I also need to get it so that when I'm in the game runtime and I hit the escape button, so does that break anything running this twice on the same engine in different scopes? Probably not. That's good. Escape from running game. You know what I need to do? Go back through and clean up that a little bit more. Oops. Oh no, it should work. This update function should be dynamic, so it should just take whatever I pass here, which is just a dummy. Same thing with our draw. Oops, well, that's closer to this one. So this here needs to load up the thing. I wonder if I can pass in the what I want to do is pass in the menu construct. IronPython post in load type. Oh, where did this come from? This looks way nicer. Oh my gosh. We'll star this for now. Let's see here. Maybe I should be doing that. Hopefully that all runs the way I'd expected to. Okay, so we've done that. Calling Python from C#, create engine, execute. You get a variable. Oh, you can define the type here. Sweet. So I should be able to do something like this. Or not. Oh no, that works. Don't think we need to compile it. Okay, so calling.net. Set variable new calling.net, which is the class which has this in it. Okay. What if I just want to copy the... The question is what if I just want to copy the static functions over without doing all of this, without giving the, you know, making the object available or whatever. So this is our getting started. Yeah, I don't know a lot about what I'm trying to figure out is there a simple way to just say take all of the static methods within or the methods within an object or functions within an object and pass them in without having them be like a child of something else. It seems like I'm going to have to manually map them all in, which should be fine. I don't think that'll be too big of a deal. The other thing is how do I give access to a specific namespace? Gosh, there's a gnat flying around here. I must have some... Oh, I can redirect the IO. That'll be useful. Let's see. Script scope. Okay, so it does run its own app domain. That's good. Okay. What I want to figure out is, again, how do I pass a type? Calling C# from Python. I mean, this is passing a specific instance. Calling Python from C#. Says I've already been through this. I wonder if I might need to make a specific assembly. Another flippin' IronPython. How many documentation pages do they have? And I don't think this is quite right. This is all weird. Well, let's just explore maybe. What else can I do? Contains, get type, variable, import modules, imports the Python module by giving given name and inserts in the script scope. Try to get variable. Level. It's a script scope, which is the Python CLR module for the provided script engine. Set host variables, set search path, set trace setup. And Python. Yeah, so I have to add a reference to a specific thing. So I have to get very specific in terms of the API, in terms, I don't know what they can and cannot create. So for instance, like the menu, Hmm. Well, let's just assume here that we can give something like import CLR. CLR add reference. To FC 360.core DLL from import menu, tab, menu option, menu selection. Let's see. That gives us what we were expecting here. And we need to execute that in scope. Then I want to give the same options for that menu API, which is something like scope, set variable, menu, update. Which takes a menu. Now obviously this will give, oh, there's probably an optional, isn't there? Oh, it's fun. I don't know if that should be menu draw or draw menu. But for now, I'll do this. And I know this is the wrong version, but it should be the same. So should be able to do something like this. And what are the I wonder how it does with that params. It should be something like this. New. Or we don't have to do new, do we? Python. Tab. And then there's a collection of menu options. I should be able to make this a lot simpler in terms of the way the API works, but let's try dropping that into what's already past new, and holy cow, might. Oh, I suppose it would help if I called that core.dll and not core. Well, anyways, what I want should be there anyways. Let's try leaving DLL off. Sweet. Expected array menu option got list. IronPython array. It's the same as the tab, right? What did I do with tab? Menu option. Sorry, menu driver. So this is params menu array. Tabs is the same thing, so why the tabs? Or is it, oh, it's construction order, so derp. Well, what if I provide an option with a list? See if that fixes it. It's doing this for convenience at C# land, but maybe this would be easier. Let's see if we get a different error. Expected array got menu option. Oh, I see. Okay. Apparently that doesn't help. Or no, I'm in the wrong one, aren't I? No, I am in the right one. So what this has to be, and this is ugly as sin, but it's what? So it'd be literally like, I gotta figure out how to make it so that I can do this instead, but it would be array of menu option, and then what I just pass in. Like this. So that closes out that, closes out that. Then that doesn't quite look right, but let's see if that works. So menu equals menu test array tab, and this would be tab test. I'm sure this is going to be not right. Yeah. Okay. Let's simplify this. And obviously I need to make it so that I need to make this simpler for the user to write just more native Python without having to know all of this crap. Okay, so that's just wrapping. Ooh. Oh, yeah, I've got to load the game. Alright, let's give that a try. Oh my gosh, unexpected token. Come on now. So ops is an array. Menu option. Close out the array, closes out. New line. Tabs is an array of tab with those. That closes out the tab. That is the extra token. Oh. Come on. Array is not defined. Really? So if I do should be from system import array, probably. There. That was good enough, but this is ugly as sin code for sure. I gotta figure out C# type for IronPython array, or IronPython list. Oh. Accidentally locked my screen there for a second. Can you just do a native? I suppose their lists are really they're not strictly typed, so you run into this problem. That's gonna stink, though. If you have to use these special, like, CLR types to do, you know, array of menu option, blah, blah, blah. The thing I could do here is hide all that from the user in terms of providing, like, easy constructors. So I could, you could imagine that internally I do something like menu create, or something like that, and I provide test and simple whatever, and then I write a layer to actually do all this conversion so that the API is really nice for them. They don't have to get into all of this crap. But I think I'm going to call it good for today. I've got some other stuff I'm going to work on. So I probably, unlike the rest of this week, will not stream anymore today. Thank you for all for watching. I will probably, I might stream this weekend. I'm not entirely sure yet. I might take a break from that and do some other videos or something and try to mix it up a little bit. But I will promise to be back on this. Well, you know what? I will probably stream at least an hour every day. I want to make sure that I'm constantly moving forward on this. So I hope you all have a great weekend. If you're watching this in the future, I hope you have a great whatever the next day is. So thanks and have a good one.